Welcome to my presentation on prokaryotic cells and how they compare to eukaryotic cells. First of all, the definition of prokaryotic cells is that they are single-celled organisms that have no nucleus or nuclear envelope and do not have any membrane-bound organelles. So what is the structure of a bacterial cell, which is a typical example for a prokaryotic cell? So it essentially consists of a cell wall that is very thick and is made of a material called murin, which acts as a physical barrier that excludes certain substances from entering the cell, such as, for example, hydrolytic enzymes, and therefore helps to prevent osmotic lysis. It also helps, I suppose, to provide structural support for the bacterial cell as a whole. So the next part of the bacterial cell is the capsule. So the capsule helps to protect bacteria from certain cells and helps bacteria to stick together, and that often helps in terms of protecting an individual bacteria, because often bacteria are stronger in groups. The cell surface membrane is selectively permeable, thus controlling the entry of different sorts of chemicals. Bacterial cells also tend to have circular DNA rather than linear DNA, and so the circular DNA, which is known as a chromosomal loop of DNA, is responsible for the genetic information of the bacterial cell, such as for cell replication. Plasmids are also found in bacterial cells and are extra loops of DNA responsible for genes that may aid the bacterial's chances of survival, for example, against antibiotics. So what are the main comparisons that we can draw between prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells? The first is that prokaryotic cells have no nucleus and only have a chromosomal loop of DNA, whereas eukaryotic cells have a nucleus present. On the other hand, you can also talk about how DNA is often associated with histones, or which are sort of protein in eukaryotic cells, which helps the eukaryotic cell DNA to be quite densely coiled, whereas DNA in prokaryotic cells do not have these histones of proteins. Prokaryotic cells tend to also have circular DNA, whereas eukaryotic cells always have linear DNA. In prokaryotic cells, we don't have membrane-bound organelles, whereas all eukaryotic cells have membrane-bound organelles. Eukaryotic cells tend to have the larger ATS ribosomes, whereas prokaryotic cells have the smaller 70S ribosomes. And in prokaryotic cells, we often see the cell wall is made out of murin, whereas in eukaryotic cells, for example, plant cells, the cell wall is made up of material called cellulose. If you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.